what I would tell new moms of multiples. So if you're expecting your second or third kid, here are my tips. Expect less. You're not going to have that perfect schedule like you did with your first, because you are now going to be juggling 2 or 3 humans. And it's okay if your kid is napping on the go in the car or in the stroller on you in the carrier. I lived by those carriers. That's the only way I got anything done for the first like 6-7 months of my third baby's life. And speaking of naps, it's okay if it's not a structured schedule. I know some people say they thrive on a schedule, and they do to a point, but you also can't stop your life and stop doing things or taking your kids to school or to sports just because you have a new baby. And I know that's really hard to hear because a lot of us just love that routine. Like I was a big routine girl, but I can't. When I have 3 now and they're doing school and they're doing sports, number 3 is gonna sleep on the go. And she's been great at it. She has fallen asleep at a very loud birthday party, and people will be like, how is she sleeping right now? She's a 3rd child. That's how. They will accustom to the life that you kind of expose them to. So if they're in loud atmospheres, which, let's be real, if you have more than 1-2 kids, it's loud already. So they're going to get used to being around that and sleeping in that. So don't shelter them from that. Take time for yourself, even if that means exercising while you're holding one of them on your hip and you're doing something else on this side. Just do something to move your body and get that serotonin, the endorphins going. We need to feel happy. We need to be our best selves. That's how we're going to be a better mother and a better partner. I don't know about you, but I feel way more productive when I actually feel good about myself. I look good. I feel good. That there's some truth to that saying. Find mom friends. I know it is so hard because it feels like this exclusive clique where you're like, I don't know how to make friends. I'm so scared. I'm going to get rejected. And it's like dating all over again, but you have to do it. It is so important being able to relate to people who are in the same stage of life. And I promise you it gets so much easier once your kids are in school and you're doing sports. Be bold. Go out there. Talk to someone that looks like maybe you get along with them, you share some interests, you can already tell. Maybe you see a keychain, they're wearing a shirt. I don't know, find something to bond over that interest. Community and motherhood is everything. Let go of the idea that your kids are gonna not fight. They're gonna fight. I actually use the fights as a way to teach them about boundaries and respecting others' boundaries. So if someone's doing something that you don't like, you tell your brother, stop doing that, I don't like this hurts me. And then it's their job to respect that boundary and listen. I actually think that's really important to learn because you're gonna need that later on in life. Your kids are gonna be different. Do not compare them one to another. Don't pit them against each other. You want them to understand that differences are valuable and we can learn from each other. And that's amazing that they have maybe this skill that maybe they don't. Don't make them feel bad for not being the exact same or even looking the exact same, performing the exact same. They're amazing just the way that they are. Take them out. Go outside every day. Make it a point, whether it's a walk around the block, whether it's going to a coffee shop or to Target. Just get out. It's good for your mind. It's good for their mind. It's good to get some energy out for everybody. And it feels impossible when you have more than one kid, especially when you're on kid number 3 and you're super outnumbered. But I promise it gets easier every single time, and it doesn't have to be anything big. We go walk in our neighborhood to a little basketball court that's nearby, and I let them play for hours. It's that simple. I swear that being silly fixes everything. My kid was just throwing a fit because I wouldn't let him watch TV, and I just started saying, let's get the grumpies out of there, and I start tickling him, and I'm grabbing the grumpies and throwing them across the street, and I'm telling him who I'm throwing them to, and he thinks it's hilarious. Being silly solves everything. Even when I feel really angry and I want to scream, I'll remind myself, be silly. Screaming does nothing but make everyone else more intensified, more angry. So I remind myself to be silly, even if I'm not feeling it, I still do it. And then we're all laughing, and then we're all in a better mood. Can be as simple as doing a silly dance or using a silly voice or you're tickling them or get the grumpies out. Be creative. Know your priorities. You are not raising a house. You are raising kids. It's okay if you leave and the house is still dirty. It's okay if you go to bed and the dishes are not done. You need time to rest and recharge just like they do. And let's be honest, the house is going to be messy in an hour after you clean it anyway, so just get your priorities straight. I think we just learn to embrace the chaos and it gets easier as we go. It's a fun ride.